When you deal with the IRS, there are two separate questions. 1. Who can receive confidential tax information? 2. Who can represent the taxpayer and advocate? On the EA exam, they love mixing those up. Form 8821 is information access only. Form 2848 is representation. And then there are lighter options like the checkbox third-party designee and simple oral disclosure during a call. Form 8821 is the tax information authorization. It lets the taxpayer name almost anyone, an individual, firm, or organization, to inspect or receive confidential tax information for the tax types and periods listed. But it's not a power of attorney. The designee can get information, transcripts, and IRS correspondence, but they cannot negotiate, argue positions, or sign agreements as the taxpayer's representative. Form 8821 also has a time limit on future periods. You can list prior years freely, but future tax periods are only recognized if they end no later than 3 years after the IRS receives the form. That's a classic EA exam detail. So if a question tries to authorize 5 future years, that's a red flag. Those extra future periods won't be recognized under 8821. Next is Checkbox Authority, also called the third-party designee. This is the little yes box on a tax return that lets the IRS discuss the processing of that specific return and year with the named person. Think refund status, math error notices, missing forms, processing stuff. It's temporary. It automatically expires on the due date of the next tax return. So it's helpful, but it's not a long-term authorization. Oral disclosure is even narrower. It's when the taxpayer is on the phone or in a meeting with the IRS and authorizes the IRS to disclose information to someone they bring into that conversation. It's not a standing authorization, and it doesn't create representation rights. On exam questions, oral disclosure is the one call, one issue concept, useful in the moment, not a durable solution. A power of attorney is not required when the third party isn't representing the taxpayer before the IRS. Preparing a return is the easy example. Other examples: providing information to the IRS, authorizing disclosure using Form 8821, using the checkbox designee, or allowing IRS discussion with a fiduciary or executor. The exam trick is the word represent. If they're advocating in a controversy, you're usually in Form 2848 territory. Finally, the CAF number. CAF stands for Centralized Authorization File. When the IRS processes a Form 2848 or Form 8821, it's recorded in the CAF system. A CAF number does not mean someone is authorized to practice before the IRS. It just means the IRS has a centralized record for that designee or representative. Practically, it also helps the IRS send copies of notices and communications to the authorized party. Sabrina wants to allow her tax preparer, Ethan, to receive both written and oral information from the IRS, including IRS notices and other correspondence. Ethan is not an enrolled agent, CPA, or attorney. What should Sabrina submit to allow these disclosures? The choices include third-party designee, oral consent only, Form 8821, or Form 2848. Think about it. The answer is Form 8821. It authorizes disclosure of confidential tax information to essentially any designee, including a non-credentialed preparer, and it can cover IRS notices and other correspondence. The tempting wrong answer is the third-party designee checkbox, but that's limited to a specific return and year and expires on the next return's due date. Sophia has a significant tax debt. Her preparer, Diego, is not an enrolled agent or CPA, but he does have an AFSP certificate. Can Diego file a Form 8821 in order to represent Sophia during the offer and compromise application process? The options include yes with 8821 or no, because 8821 doesn't allow representation. Think about it. The answer is no. Form 8821 is information access only. It lets Diego receive or inspect tax information, but it does not give him authority to represent Sophia in a collection matter like an offer and compromise. The tempting wrong choice is yes with AFSP and 8821, but the form itself never grants advocacy rights.